Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us coming here to learn the language of the noble Quran. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us sadqa jariyah for our parents and make our children sadqa jariyah for us. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq to learn the language of the noble Quran and then teach others. I welcome you, my respected sisters, to today's class. I hope everybody is doing well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect you all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you goodness. Ameen Ya Rab. If you're able to hear me, sisters, clearly, please give me some feedback in the chat window. And as you know, the host for giving the feedback is your answers. Please write here. So if you could just let me know if you're able to hear me clearly, please. Barakallahu feek. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, we'll start the class today. Today's lesson is going to be very easy. We've been doing it since last 2 weeks. Today, we will just be completing a few exercises which were left, and we'll see, inshallah, if there's something else we can do. So what we were doing was Jawazimul Fi'l al-Mudari. What is Jawazimul Fi'l al-Mudari? These are the particles which changes the i'rab of Fi'l Mudari to Madzum. We have seen two particles coming in the chapter so far, lam and lamma. Lam means no and lamma means not yet, but there are more. But for now, just see there are four particles, what you can see in front of you here. There are more, but that we will discuss inshallah at later point. But for now, there are four particles: lam, lamma, lamul amr, and la'un nahiya, yani lam of prohibition. So we were in the chapter, and then we have reached up to this point. So from here, we'll inshallah continue. So what basically we see here is we have to enter lam to the following words here. So we have verbs given, and we have to enter lam and see what effect will we have. So if you have the word adhabu, which means I am going or I will go, depending on the context, as we've seen many times. But if you want to use lam, then the transition will become I did not go. So I hope, sisters, all of you are coming to class with your notebook and your pens. So if you could just write the answer in your notebook. I don't expect all of you to write in the chat box, but it's best that you write in your notebook. That is important. Chat book is optional. You can do it. Alhamdulillah. You cannot do it. Alhamdulillah. What will happen to this adhabu when you will come with the lam? So in other words, how will we translate this I did not go into Arabic using the particle of jazm? Say lam adhab. Adhabu was the original word, and with the lam, it became madzum. How do we know it's madzum? Because instead of dhamma, it has got sukoon. Now, if you have verb yadhhabuna and you want to make it madzum with lam, how will you do that? We'll simply delete the noon, as we have seen before. Lam yadhhabu. So we have taken the noon out. Now the third one, I hope all of you know that, alhamdulillah, we have a verb yadhhabna. They, female, did not go. If I bring lam here before this verb, then I will again delete noon, right? And I will say lam yadhhabu. Am I right, sisters? Because we've just deleted noon when the noon was there. Here we have noon as well. So what will we do? Lam yadhhabu. Who thinks lam yadhhabu is the correct answer? Please press 1. Who thinks the lam yadhhabu is an incorrect answer? Please press 2, sisters. 1, if you think it will look like similar, because before we had noon, we deleted, it became like this. Here we have noon as well. If we delete it, it will become the same thing with a little bit of difference. So if we delete noon, you think so? Press 1. If we don't delete noon, press 2. Well done, mashallah. We will not delete noon. We'll say lam yadhhabna. There's no change in the verb. Whereas other two verbs change. First one got sukoon on the last letter instead of dhamma. Second letter got the deletion of noon. This third one has got no change. Why? Because this verb is mabni. We have seen in fi'l mudari, two forms are mabni. plural feminine when it is second person, and plural feminine when it is third person. So this is mabni. Mabni on what? Okay, what's the meaning by mabni on what? So in Arabic, you will say mabni ala sukun. It is mabni on sukun. In other words, what we are saying, it's fixed, right? Mabni means fixed. It's fixed on what? So when the question is asked, it's fixed on what? It may come in your paper's exam. Bear in mind, inshallah. When it says fixed on what? Mabni ala madha. So you have to see what is the haraka on the last letter. In this case, we will say it's mabni ala sukun. If we had some other word, for example, we have any other thing which is mabni, for example, damar are mabni, right? Harf jar are all mabni. So what do you say? You will look at the last letter, you would look at the haraka and you will say it is mabni on that. So in this case, it is mabni on sukun. It could be a word which has got a fatha, for example, or it could have another thing. It could have a kasra, amsi, for example. So amsi is what? Amsi is majrur? No, it's not majrur, right? Likewise, you have word man, which is used for asking question. That word man is mabni. If somebody say, what is it mabni on? If you are writing mabni, if you're writing the Arab, it's right mabni ala sukun. I hope it is clear, sisters. And then how will you say tadhhabina? If you put lam before tadhhabina, what will happen to tadhhabina? Again, you will delete the noon. So all the words which have got waw noon, alif noon, or ya noon will get deleted in case of majzoom. Also in case of mansoob as well, as we know. With the lan, it will be same treatment. How will we know if this word tadhhabi, which is same in writing for mansoob and majzoom both, is it majzoom or mansoob? Very simple. We look at the governing word. We look at the amil. What is amil? Amil means governing word, the word before our verb or before any word which has some influence over the word which is coming after that, and it may make some changes in that. So here our governing word is lam, and this lam has deleted this noon from this verb to make it majzoom. And the next is you did not go or she did not go. Tadhabu could mean both. And how do we know it is for feminine or it's for masculine? By the context of the sentence. So we'll say lam tadhhab. Once again, dhamma change into sukun. Tadhabuna, you plural males did not go. How will we do, sisters, if we had lam tadhhabu, and then nadhhabu? We did not go. If we want to say we did not go out of nadhhabu, how will we say by making it majzoom? Lam nadhhab. If we have second person plural feminine, this verb tadhhabna, if we bring lam before that, what's going to happen? We will delete noon, right? What will we say? Lam tadhhab. Is that correct, sisters? If you think it's correct, press 1. If you think it's incorrect, please press 2. It is incorrect. There will be no change. Why? Because as we've seen before, this one is second person plural feminine. This verb is mabni. Mabni ala maza, mabni ala sukun. It does not change. But does it mean it's not majzoom? No, it is majzoom because of the lam. So we'll say fi mahalli jazm. It is in place of jazm. We are usually using the term as the chair. So we'll continue using chair. But fi mahalli means in place of. So nevertheless, inshallah, meaning for both is the same, so you can understand. So we'll say this verb is mabni by sitting in the chair of majzoom. Why? Because it is preceded by adatul jazm, the word which makes the word majzoom. And the last one here, yadhhabu. He went. How will we say, making it negative? What will be the way to we'll say that lam yadhhab. Lam yadhhab. This dhamma will change into sukoon, so it becomes majzoom. So what did we learn here, sisters? If briefly we want to say that majzoom can be formed by changing a dhamma into sukoon, or by deleting the noon from the verbs which are ending on ya noon, alif noon, or waw. Or for the mabni, there is no change. but you know that this word is majzoom because there is a adatul jazm or the particle of jazm just before that. So this was for lam. Now here we have to complete the sentences. Complete the following sentences by putting suitable verbs in the empty blank spaces. So what is happening here is you not only have to give the treatment of the verb and you have to tell how the verb will look like after lam, you also need to know what is this verb actually called. So here the transitions are given. Did you not study the Arabic language in your country, oh my brother? So what is the word for study? Who can tell me? Darasa yadrusu. And if you're talking to somebody in front of you, second person male, what form of yadrusu will you use? Tadrusu. So with lam, what will happen to tadrusu? It will become alam tadrus. Originally it was tadrusu, but because of lam, it became tadrus. Now tadrus, seen has got sukoon. And then the next word, al-lughata, lam has got sukoon, right? So what will we do? We will not say this alif has got sukoon, this iltiqai sakin. No, lam has got sukoon. This alif is hamzatul wasl. Hamzatul wasl do not have haraka, ever, we know that, right? So we'll not say it's hamzatul wasl, hamzatul wasl has got sukoon. We will say lam has got sukoon because in al, alif and lam is the one basically which has got sukoon. So how will we join that? Because if this is the rus is ending on sukoon and then al-lughata without hamzatul wasl, lam has got sukoon because hamzatul wasl rule is if it is between the two words, then you will keep it in writing, but you will not pronounce it. So effectively, it is not there when you're pronouncing. You have effectively lam with the sukoon when you're pronouncing. So how will you do that? You will put a kasra. Alam taduru sil lughat al-Arabiya. This is how you will put a kasra so that you don't break your speech and you continue. And then it is man kasara hadil miratu ya Ali. Who broke this mirror, O Ali? So the word for to break is kasara yaksiru. Now he's saying, I did not break it. So what will be the verb here? Who can tell me? Either write in the chat box or please do write in your notebook. So when afterwards you can actually see if you're right or not. Because in this particular exercise, you not only need to know what's going to have to happen to the verb after lam, you also need to know actually what is the verb, what is the Arabic word for this action. What is the word for this action? Kasara. And if I am the one who is doing the work, how will we say? Aksiru. But here we are saying aksir. Why? Because of the lam. Lam aksir ha. And ha means it. Ha is going back to the mirror is a pronoun. Then we have akhrajat tullabu min al-fasli ya hamidu. Sorry. Akhrajat tullabu min al-fasli ya hamid. Did the students leave from the classroom, or Hamid? So Hamid is saying, no, they did not leave. So you already see the verb here, kharaja. How will you say la lam yakhru ju? You will simply take the noon out from them. No, they did not leave. And then قالت المدرسة للمديرة. The female teacher said to the principal, إن هؤلاء الطالبات لم, and then the verb is for writing, al-wajibat. So what kind of verb we will have for the writing? What do we say? Kataba yaktubu. So what will be the verb here? Yaktubna. Yaktubna, but there's no change in yaktubna even though it has got lam before that. Why? Because yaktubna is a mabni verb. It doesn't change. Hence, you don't delete noon here, right? And then we have the next statement. We did not go to the zoo yesterday. Nahnu lam, and then fill in the blanks. What is the verb for going? ذهب يذهب. And if it's with nahnu, we all, how will we say? نذهب. So what will happen to نذهب here before lam? نحن لم نذهب إلى حديقة الحيوانات أمس. You see this word أمس? This is مبني على الكسر, right? Because there's no harf jar before that, so why it is majroor? There's no mudaf before that, so why it is majroor? Because this is how this word is. So you say amsi is mabni al kasr. Here is of course it's mabni al sukun because on the last letter there's a kasra, as we have discussed a while ago. And then my sister swept her room and she did not sweep my room. Kanasat ukhti ghurfataha walam taknus ghurfati. Taknus, you see, it has got sukun. If there was no lam, it will be taknusu. And then why you did not eat the fruits, O gentlemen. So what is the word for eating? Akala ya'kulu. Lima lam. So lima can also be used in limadha. So limadha and lima gives the same meaning. We've studied that before. Now lam is coming before the verb of akala ya'kulu. What form will come for ya'kulu when gentlemen? So there are many people involved here, many males. What will we say? Ta'kulu will delete the noon. Where the noon will be deleted because of this lam. And sadatu means gentleman, plural. If it's one person and you are saying gentleman with the A, you will say sayyid, right? Oh Salma, did you not know the meaning of this word? Ya Salma, alam, fill in the blanks, ma'ana hadhihi al-kalimat. So what is the verb for knowing? Arifa ya'rifu. So what is the Arabic for this particular when you are speaking to one singular female, you say ta'arifina. But because of the lam, you deleted noon and you say alam ta'arifi. And then next is rannal jarasul ana. The bell rang now. Walamma walamma, and then there's a fill in the blanks, al mudarrisuna min al fusuli, and the teachers have not yet left the classroom. So lamma is giving the meaning of not yet. What will be the word for left here? This is important, sisters. I'm interested to know what kind of form of the verb you will put here. We all know that leaving, exiting is kharaja yakhruju. So what will we say? Because mudarrisuna yakhrujuna, it was, isn't it? Then we'll delete the noon and we'll say yakhruju, like we've been doing. Yadhhabu, tadhhabu. So we will say yakhruju with the deletion of noon, correct? If you think yes, we will delete the noon here, press 1. If you think we will not delete the noon here, press 2. I'll wait for the answers, sister. This is very important. Please write in the chat box if you can. Deletion of noon or not deletion of noon from yakhrujuna? Both answers are wrong. Neither we will have verb here in yakhrujuna form, nor we will delete noon from here. What will we do? We will have a singular form. Why? Because we know the, sisters, don't we? The jumla failure begins with the verb. We all know that. And that verb is always third person singular. If a verb is coming in the beginning of a jumla ismiya, verbal sentence, then that verb will by default will be third person singular. You will not have a form which will be giving you the plurality or dual or anything else. So who's the fa'il here? Al-mudarrisuna is the fa'il. So why will you say yakhrujuna? If you say yakhrujuna, then waw is the fa'il. So where is this waw going to? Because remember, pronouns are used if the proper noun has been used before. So if I say, if I'm talking about Zaid, then I don't want to repeat over and over his name, so I'll say he. But if I start the sentence by saying he's gone, say who's gone? Who are you talking about? But if I was already speaking to you about Zaid, that he came, he said we ate, we discussed this, and then I say he is gone. So now you understand. So I hope you understand that you cannot use the plural form here, right? You will always use the singular form because your doer is coming afterwards, and you know that this doer is plural. Khalas, no problem, is plural, but the word for this one, which is coming in the beginning, will always be third person singular. I hope you know that full well. And then we have, why did you not open the windows, O daughters? So now, person who is speaking to a lot of girls in front of him or her. So what kind of word will he use? For open is fataha yaftahu. So if you have a lot of girls present in front of you and you ask them the questions, what verb will you use? Taftahna, taftahna, right? Now, because lam is coming, will you remove the noon as we've been doing? No, we will not. Why? Because taftahna is used for feminine plural, and feminine plural verbs, whether they are third person, whether they are second person, they both are mabni. They don't change. How do they look? So this taftahna will be written same. If there is a lam before that, or if there's no lam before that, still the spelling will not change. However, after lam, i'rab will change. If there was no lam then we will not say it's possible that if there was no lam, it was playing the role of marfu. So we will say this verb is mabni ala sukun fi mahalli raf, because it was sitting in the chair of marfu. If there was some other reason and there was some article of nasb there, then we will say this verb is mansoob, is mabni ala sukun fi mahalli nasbin. And now in this case, we have majzoom article of jazm here. So you will say this word is mabni ala sukun, but fi mahalli jazmin, it is in the place or chair of jazm. And then we have the minister did not return from London. Lam, fill in the blanks, al waziru min Londana. So what is the word for return? This basically, this particular exercise is testing your vocabulary of the verbs. So raja'a, yarji'u is our word. But what will happen to lam after lam? What's going to happen? Will it be yarja'u or yarji'? I will not show you. You have to tell me. Last letter will have a sukun or last letter will have something else. Think about it. Think carefully. It's very easy to say it will have sukun, but will it actually have a sukun? Will you write sukun here? No, you will not. You will have to write kasra. Why? Because you have to actually continue the sentence. So it may be written there as in grammatical way, but for if you are putting the harakat, if you are teaching somebody and you need to show them, you will have to put a kasra like this. Our beautiful brother has done this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him. He has done a beautiful job. Lam yarji'il waziru min London. Why this sukun? Instead of sukun, we see the kasra because we are joining that. It's not possible for you to write both things if you are writing somewhere formally, because one letter cannot have two harakat. It has sukun and it has kasra as well. What are you going to do? Only for the purpose, if you're teaching somebody, then yes, you can put a sukun, and then the best is you perhaps put a cross over it so the person knows that there was a sukun originally, but that has been deleted, and you already explained it to them that if the reason is because of iltaqai sakinain. Now here, in this one, we have to draw two lines, one under the mubtada and two under the khabar. Subhanallah. Students who are studying this chapter with the sheikh in the book, they are learning mubtada and khabar. And since how long you already know what is mubtada and khabar? Say alhamdulillah. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. It's the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that alhamdulillah we already know that. So in your book, when you will see this, you will not find any harakat given. You will just simply see these words are written. But alhamdulillah, you know how that looks like, how khabar looks like, how noun sentence looks like. First word is a mubtada, second word is a khabar in the normal circumstances. So you will simply be able to identify that and put harakat. So al-ma'u is your mubtada. So you draw a single line and you will put a single haraka. Because of the alif lam, you will not put tanween. In khabar, when it is one word, it is always nakira. So you will put tanween and you will put double underline. So now what is this? Al-ma'u qalilun. This is mubtada and khabar jumla ismiya, right? The water is less. And then we have this word su'adu mumarridatun. Now alhamdulillah, you know that you studied these words, so you will not put su'adun because you know this is a feminine word. Though this is coming in the beginning of the sentence, it's a name, but this name is a feminine name, so you will not put tanween, you will only put single haraka. Why? Because it's diptode. It will not accept tanween. Mumarridatun means, now somebody may say, oh, but I didn't know that before that su'ad is the feminine name. It's fine. It's fine. These are the things we learned with the study. Instead of Suad, if it was Zainab, you would have straight away understood. You didn't need to see Ta Marbuta. You didn't need to see Aisha and Khadija and Ruqayya to say, oh, this is a feminine name because it is ending on Ta Marbuta. Zainab, Maryam, they are not feminine names, but you know these names. So now, alhamdulillah, you know Suad as well. So you will know Suad in this case is our Mubtada. It's marfu, and there's no dammatin because it is diptode, and mumarridatun means female nurse, and this is our khabar. Al-qahwatu baridatun, the coffee is cold. Al-nujumu jamilatun, the stars are beautiful. Ad-dukhulu mamnu'un, the entry is forbidden. What kind of word is ad-dukhul, sisters? Who can tell me? Yes, it is mubtada. Yes, it is noun, as we can see. But where is it coming from? Is it derived from somewhere? We have studied a little bit, we touched upon the words are of different types in Arabic language from different point of views. But one point of view is if the word is jamid or is mushtaq. Jamid means a word which is a fixed word, which did not come from anything else. On the other hand, mushtaq is a word which came out of some other word. So ad-dukhul, what kind of word is that? Brilliant. It is masdar. Dakhala yadkhul. Dakhala yadkhulu gives you what? Dakhala, he entered, right? Yadkhulu, he is entering or he will enter. Now, in the verb, you are getting both things. You are getting the name of the action, and you also know the zaman. Dakhala is past tense, yadkhulu is the present tense. But here, ad-dukhul is the masdar, and in masdar, you get the name of the action, but you don't get to see any time frame. You don't get to see any doer, which is must with the verb, right? Ad-dukhulu mamnoon, the entry is forbidden. Now, it's not saying the entry when in the past, present, future, who is doing the entry. No, just the entry. So by using masdar, you are able to create, alhamdulillah, a beautiful meaning, and you are able to express yourself. So you are basically using the verb here, but you're not using any time frame. If you were not to use the masdar here, how would you come up with some meaning which will have the meaning of the verb, but which will not have the tense of the verb? I hope it is clear. This was just something we have already done that before, alhamdulillah. Al-babu mughlaqun, the door is closed. Hashimun zakiyun, Hashim is intelligent. And now we have another one. Distinguish the nominal sentence from the verbal sentence. This is a piece of cake for all of you, right? What kind of sentences first when kharaj al-mudarrisu? But remember, when you receive your resource back and you are doing your exercises, please put the haraka, right? So this will just make you, so though you already know that, alhamdulillah, there's no doubt about that really, but then it's always best to keep repeating things for the sake of revising, inshallah. Kharaj al-mudarrisu is a verb sentence. Al-mudarrisu kharaja, noun sentence. The meaning is same, the teacher left. You see? So basically, there are two ways of saying the same thing. In English, you say the teacher left. In Arabic, you could say in a verb sentence form, or you could say in a noun sentence form. Is there a reason one over the other? Is it possible that you use this or that? Yes, you can. But is there any reason? Will that make a difference? It can make a difference depending on the larger context of the paragraph, of what meaning do you want to give. But that is for some other day, inshallah. For now, we will say that these two have got similar meaning. And if you want to say the teacher left, you may make a sentence in Arabic, which is jumla fi'liya, and say kharaj al-mudarrisu, or you can use it as a noun sentence and say al-mudarrisu kharaja. There is no difference in the meaning here. And az-zahratu jamilatun, the flower is beautiful. Dakhala al-talibu, the student entered. Allahu Akbar, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the greatest. And then this is important. It's very simple. It's very, very simple, but this is important. What it is to do here is assign the noun and the verb and the particle in what follows. So the brother again has done a beautiful job. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him in both worlds. Ameen. What you have to do is you have, of course, in your book, you don't have this color coding. You have these sentences, right? Even there's no harakat given. You have to identify what kind of words are there. How many types of words are there in Arabic language? Only three: nouns, particles, and verbs, right? Here, they're color coded, but when you will see the book, you will be able to see the word, and you should be able to define more, because now you are in level 5. Your level 5 is soon coming to an end, right? In a couple of lessons time, we will do our revision, and then we will close level 5. You will sit your certificate exam. Inshallah, you will have your certificates for level 5, and then we'll move to the very final part of book 2, which is level 6. Only few chapters there, quite easy chapters, lot of things to do with the surf over there. So all those words which we were just touching upon, we will be able to see, inshallah, in more detail with more examples, and we will be done with that, inshallah, soon as well. So all I'm saying is, now, alhamdulillah, you're coming to the end of level 5. You should be able to look at this word, and you should be able to say it is a verb. But is that enough for you to say it's a verb? No, you should be able to say more. How? And even if you are not able to say a lot here at this stage, but now keep your mind open and try to learn things and pay attention in the class and note it down whenever you hear something about some particular word. So if you are, for example, defining this word, you can simply say this is fail madi. For this chapter's purpose only, you can simply say, okay, this is fail, this is a fail. You don't even need to say anything, but you should know what kind of verb is that. Is it a past tense verb? Is it a present tense verb? Or is it an amr? Is it mabni or is it morab? If it's past tense, then it's going to be mabni. If it is mudare, then it could be morab, except for the two, feminine, plural, third person, second person. Is it an active verb or is it a passive verb? Is this verb thulasi or rubai? What is thulasi and rubai? Verbs are made up of either 3 letters in Arabic language or 4 letters. More verbs are of 3 letters. So they're huruful asliya, the original letters. What do we mean by original letters? Means if you take any of this one out from here, you take the kha out or ra out or jim out, the meaning will be finished. There'll be no more meaning left. So if okay, let's look at this one, for example, al-mudarrisu. If you take the meaning, al-mudarrisu means the teacher. If you take alif and lam, does this give you still the meaning of teacher? Yeah, there is no tanween here, but that's something to do with the rules of writing and spelling and punctuation. But you still know mudarris means you're talking about the teacher. But here, if you take kha out, raja, is there a word? I don't know if there's any word raja which has got any meaning. If you know that, please let me know. If you take jim out and khara, so this is something which is we don't know. So this is called huruful asliya, that these letters are the main letters of the word, and if you take them out, then the meaning will change. And if there's some letters in that, you may take them out and they may have certain effect on the meaning, but the original meaning will still be there, as I said to you in the case of al-mudarris. So once again, so when you see a verb, what do? You should be able to say that what kind of verb is that. From the type of the numbers it has, for letters it is thulathi or is it rubai? Is it mujarrad or is it mazid fi? What is mujarrad? What is mazid fi? Mujarrad is the word which has got only its root letters. So these are the root letters. Huruf al-asliya can also be called root letters. Kharaja, there's nothing added before that. If you add hamza before that, then that verb will change its meaning, and this will be called mazid fihi, means there is something extra in that. We haven't studied that. Inshallah, we'll do that in future lessons, so don't worry about it. I just wanted you to have an open mind and understanding that word can divide, any word can have different uh, forms, different types, different categories. So once again, when you look at the verb, you should be able to say whether this verb is madi, mudare, or it's samar. You should also be able to say it is lazim or mutaaddi. What is lazim and mutaaddi? Lazim and mutaaddi are where you need mafulun bihi or where you can live without mafulun bihi. If this verb is active or passive, what is active and passive? An active verb, you know the name of the doer, you know who is the doer. Whereas in passive verb, you don't know if there is who is the doer. We have done that before. And you should also be able to say if this verb is positive or negative. So if there's any ma or la before that or not. So that is very clear. You can see that and tell. So these are the things you should be able to say. And there are other things as well. But for now, if you are just able to identify it's a verb, it is enough. And then al-mudarrisu, what kind of word is that? It is a noun. When you talk about the noun, similar thing will come. It is a thulathi, or rubai, or khumasi. In nouns, it is possible that they are made up of 3 root letters, 4 root letters, or 5 root letters, right? And when you look at this word, you should also be able to say, is this a singular or is this a plural? So you have said it's a noun, but you need to explain more. You need to be able to understand more. So is it singular? Is it plural? Is it diptote? Is it triptote? So basically, will it accept tanween? And because if you see a word, for example, there's no alif lam here, but there's, let's say we put suad here, and you say this is a noun, but then there's no tanween. So you must know what kind of word is that. This is the reason why there's no tanween. So you should be able to understand the word and able to describe from different angles, different categories it may relate it to. And then waw is the particle, right? At-tullabu is a noun, as we know. Min is harja, so it's a particle. Al-fasli is the noun, so you know this is. And here, when I say you need to be able to say about the words, I'm not saying about the Arab. I'm not saying that you should know it is majroor. This is you should know when you are doing the grammatical analysis, when you're doing the Arab. If question is like that and comes in your exam, a paragraph which says assign the noun and the verb and the particle and what follows, maybe not in this lesson, but maybe in future lessons where you have actually learned different types of the words. In that one, you will not say al-fasli is majroor. This is not a question. Question is that you tell that what kind of word is that and what are the further divisions or descriptions or categorization this word can have. So once again, for al-fasli, you could say this is singular word. This has got alif lam, so this is marifa. It is not nakira, and so on. You can give different explanations if you have any. Just do the second one again. سأذهب إلى الملعب بعد الدرس. So here, seen. Alhamdulillah, you know that seen. So the seen is what? Seen is a particle. What kind of particle is that? You should, for example, this wow, you should be able to say it's atf. Though we have not done that, so don't worry about it. But this mean you should be able to say this is harf and this is harf jar. For seen, you should say seen is a particle, and this particle gives the meaning of istiqbal. So it's harful istiqbal. This changed the meaning into uh, future tense. Then you have a verb azhabu. Now azhabu is different than kharaja, because kharaja was the madi. Azhabu, you will not say it's madi, you will say it's fi'l and it's mudare and it is marfu, right? Because there's the dhamma. And when we know that fi'l mudare, except for two forms of fi'l mudare, all are mu'rab. They are not fixed, so you'll say it is mu'rab. And then ila is harf jar. Al-mal'abi, what kind of word is al-mal'abi? What kind of word is ba'da? Ba'da is a zarf. So you should be able to say ba'da is the noun and it's a zarf. Ad-darsi, what kind of word is ad-darsi? So likewise, you should be able to define everything. But for now, if you can only define the main form of the word, this is fine, inshallah, it will suffice. So kharaja is word, fil madi, al-mudaris is the noun, waw is the particle, at-tullab is the noun, min is the particle, and al-fasli is the noun. So I hope it is clear. Now, another thing, we have studied Ismul Mawsul, and Ismul Mawsul, we have seen Ismul Mawsul, Alladhi is used for singular, right? What is used for plural, sisters? Who can tell me? Alladhina. And if it was a singular feminine, we will use Allati. And if it was a feminine, what will you use? Allati. So plural of Allati is Allati. Look at this sentence here. There's a little change here. الطالبات اللاتي خرجن من الفصل الآن من الفلبين. The students who left from the class just now are from Philippines. Now, allati is originally what we have learned, and we knew this is the plural form, but it could also be interchanged with the word Allahi. This is the same meaning. Allati or Allahi, these are both same. The Ismul Mawsul, this is the plural of Allati, so you can use Allati or Allahi. They both are correct. Now what we are going to do, sisters, is something important. It requires you to pay attention. So please do pay attention. And I promise we'll end the class after that, inshallah. This, what we are going to see, and something else after that from the text, we'll not do after the chapter anything, right? So we'll try to end the class early today as well. We've been doing little longer classes in past, so that will compensate for that as well, inshallah. So number 12 is ponder over the following. So if you look at this one, Hamidun qala, Hamidun qama, Hamidun zara. Hamid said, Hamid stood, Hamid visited. So we all know that this is qala, qama, and zara. These are what? Verbs, right? So what kind of words are they? Who can tell? Because you see, once again, in the verb, when you were defining verb, I forgot to tell you one thing in that slide. You should also be able to say if this word is sahih, sound verb, or mu'tal. It's a weak verb. What is a weak verb? Weak verb is a verb which has got weakness in it, which has got weak letter in it. So what kind of weakness in these three verbs are? Alif is the weakness here. Alif. So this is ajwaf. What is ajwaf? Ajwaf is the verb which has got weak letter in the middle. So as you can see, qala, qama, zara. You see that? So this is a weak letter. So why are we even discussing that? Why it is given in the book? There's a reason. So when you say Hamid qala, Hamid qama, Hamid zara, it's all fine. No problem with that. We can see qala, qama, zara. As soon as, come to this part of the slide, when you join mutaharrik pronoun to the verb, we all know what is mutaharrik pronoun. If you look at this list, these are the pronouns starting from number 6. Noon has got fatha, ta has got a fatha, and all of these has got harakat. So these all are called mutaharrik pronoun. Whereas if we look at the top one, so we know that here it's mustatir. Zahaba, alif is our pronoun, but has alif got any haraka? No. Here we have waw. Has waw got any haraka? No. Waw has got sukun. So it's mutaharrik. It is ghair mutaharrik. Mutaharrik means a vowel sign with the haraka. And then this ta is ta'ut tani, so there is no pronoun here. It's already hidden there. Zahabata, you see, it is also ending on alif with a sukun. But as soon as you come to this fifth one, zahabna, zahabta, zahabtuma. So what happens is when you join a mutaharrik pronoun to a verb, lam kalima of that verb will get sukun. So you see, it was originally zahaba, but number 6 point onward here, all of the lam kalimas of zahaba are getting sukun. I hope you already know that. We've done this so many times. Look at this word fahimna. We've seen that in our book, right? It was the text somewhere. The student says fahimna. We all understood. So fahima yafamu, fahima. Originally there was a fatha, but because you are joining this mutaharrik pronoun, this lam kalima of fahima has got sukun, it becomes fahimna. So you see, this is what it is now. Coming to what we are actually trying to see here. So if you look at the sixth one here, it's qulna. Dhahabna, we had all three letters from the verb, zal, ha, ba, and the noon was there. So we were attaching this noon here. So we had all four letters here. Only thing was that the third letter of the verb, which is also called lam kalima, third radical, changed into sukun instead of original fatha, which it had. Here, what is happening? You see qala and then you add noon. So because you are adding this noon here, this lam will get sukun. Now the problem is when the lam goes sukun, jump here, sisters. Look at this one where the mouse is right now. Qala plus noon. What happened? You added qaf, then alif came, original alif, and then lam came and the noon came. Now because you've joined this noon here, you have to put lam kalima with a sukun. When you put sukun on the lam kalima, now you have a situation which is called iltiqai sakinain, meeting of two sukuns. Qaf has got a fatha, Noon has got a fatha, but in the middle, alif and lam both have got sukun. You cannot have two letters with the sukun, you will not be able to pronounce. What you shall do? You have to delete one letter. You have to delete. In verbs, we delete. This is sarf, this is morphology. As we have already discussed, this is a science in itself. What we are doing in Madinah books is we are learning nahwa, which is ilmun nahwa. This is ilmu sarf. Since in the grammar, some parts of the grammar, sarf also comes there, they get overlapped. So Sheikh Abdul Rahim, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on his soul, he has given us some chapters of sarf as well, so we can understand what is happening with the words here. So basically, this is a topic of sarf. Inshallah, we'll try to do some book of sarf on its own. But remember, sarf is something which requires a lot of memorization because rules. It's less of understanding and more of remembering things, whereas nahwa is more of understanding. Once you understand the concept, then if your memory is a little bit here and there, still you will be able to solve the question if you have in front of you. So here we have qala and then we're adding noon. According to the rule, lam kalima will get sukoon, as we have seen here. Dhahabna. What are we going to do here? We will have to delete. What will we delete? The strong one or the weak one? Weak one will go, right? If it's a situation and there's some strong person is there, some weak person is there, it's emergency situation. Who are you going to save first? Who are you going to say, you know what, you sit down, you are weak, you are not well. Let this strong person take the bear of the situation. So alif, which is a weak letter, will be dropped and only lam will be left. So what is the result? Result is qaf, lam, and noon. Qalna. So this is your result for the fifth one, hunna qalna. But we don't see qaf with the fatha here. We see qaf with the dhamma here. What's the reason? Now, this is the technicality. We don't want to go in there. I don't want you to go into this one right now. For now, just focus on that. What has happened that when we joined the mutaharrik pronoun, we simply deleted the weak letter. We simply deleted the ain kalima, which had a weak letter alif here. Just remember that. Focus on that. Why the fatha of qaf has become dhamma, we will solve it inshallah in other lessons, right? But right now, we don't want to mix too many things because if you see, you can still see through this slide. Deliberately it has been made like that so you can see through it right now as well in the class. If you are looking, oh, this happened and that happened, why this fatha is changed into dhamma, explanations are given here, but I don't want to go into the detail. because that will maybe too much. Right now, I want you to do one thing. I would like you to please memorize this conjugation table. You remember a long time back we have done laysa. When we have done laysa, we were quite fresh. We didn't know a lot of things what we know, alhamdulillah, now. At that time, I told you, sisters, please memorize the table of laysa. Likewise, I'm saying, sisters, memorize the table of qala. So you at least have an idea that what's happening in ajwaf is that your weak letter is getting dropped. Once you memorize it and then something else, you will say qama, you will be able to see that, okay, when I am going to attach a pronoun to that mutaharrik pronoun, my weak letter, which is alif, will go. Likewise, when you see Zara, and you know Zara is an ajwaf, but because you have memorized the conjugation of qala, 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 qalu, qalat, qalat, qulna, qulta, qultuma, you know when you say qulna, qulta, qultuma, qultum, qulti, qultuma, qultunna, qultu, qulna, alif is gone. So you will have some idea what's happening, right? So just try to memorize that. Now coming back to the exercise here. So we had Hamidun Qala, Hamid said, Hamidun Qama, Hamid stood, Hamidun Zara, Hamid visited. Now what we're going to see will become very simple. Anta Qulta, you said. Why? Where's Alif gone? Originally we had Qala, it became with Anta Qulta. Ana, it became Qultu. Alif is gone. With Nahnu, we say Nahnu Qulna. It's not Nahnu Qalna. There's no Alif yet. Why? We've already studied that. We already know that anything below this Kunna will lose alif. So if you see qulta, where is this qulta? Qulta is coming here. For the second person masculine singular, dhahabita. So we'll say qulta. Alif is gone. Why? Because we have joined this ta, which ta, when we joined to dhahaba, we made the lam kalima with the sukun. We said dhahab ta. But here, because of this ajwaf, because there's an iltiqai sakina, and iltiqai sakina is going to happen everywhere. So if let's imagine if you have the word qala and instead of noon, you are adding this one, and you say, you know what, let me just try the same formula with this pronoun, and you write ta here, ta with the fatha. What will be the result? Kaf with the fatha, alif with the sukun, lam with the sukun, and then ta with the fatha. So you will stuck with the same situation. Only difference is earlier you had known, now you have ta with the fatha. So what will you do? You will again take the alif out and you will say qalta, but it's not correct to say qalta. You have to say qulta because of this qala verb is like that. So you will say qulta. So this is how when you will say nahnu qulna, same thing is happening. After qala, if you want to practice more in your notebook, write qala and then add plus sign and then write nun alif na, which is for the damir for nahnu, and then write them together. You'll end up with qaf with the fatha, alif with the sukun, lam with the sukun, and then nun alif na. But you cannot pronounce because of two uh, vowel-less letters meeting. So then you have to do something. What will you do? You will delete the weak letter and you will come up with qaf, lam, and then nun alif na. You will have qalna. But since you have memorized that, you know that qalna is the wrong thing to say. You can't say qalna, you must say qulna. So you will say qulna, and here's the qulna given. Sisters, I hope everybody is understanding that. Once you have memorized that, once you have understood that, then any word coming on this pattern, you're not going to make a mistake. You'll say anta qumta, ana qumtu, nahnu qumna. Exactly same what you've done for qala. Hamidun zara, anta zurta. Alif is gone. Ana zurtu. Alif is gone. Nahnu zurna. We visited. So once you understand a little bit of this formula and you have memorized this, everything is done, alhamdulillah. And if you find this understanding this formula is a little difficult for you at this time, I'll give you one simple solution, inshallah. That is, just memorize the conjugation of madi for now. Qala, qala, qalu, qalat, qalata. Just memorize this. Once you're strong in that, read it 30, 40 times out loud. Inshallah, by the end of your session, you would have, inshallah, memorized. Once you have memorized that, then do some exercises, find some words, and then try to conjugate them. So, for example, once you have memorized qala, come up with the verb qama. Instead of qala, write in your notebook qama, and then write the whole conjugation. Then write the verb zara. Write zara here, and then write the whole conjugation. So when you're doing the conjugation, your mind will keep recalling that, okay, what did I do in the case of qala when I joined ta with that, or tuma with that, or tum with that, or tu with that, or na with that, and you will be doing the same thing for zara and qama. And by the end of that session, inshallah, you will see that now you have got that much, much stronger in your mind than before. So I hope this is simple. However, for the curious souls among us who really want to study, you will get that inshallah with your resource pack. If you want to see what happened to in Madi, what happened to Mudare, what happened to Majzoom, how the Amr had changed, you can go through that chart and you will see that. But I think this is not suitable for us to do it in the class because everybody is not on the same level. Some people have attended courses, some people have got the idea about the surf or these words, and they will be able to understand it far more quicker than compared to those who are beginners like me. Right? So we take a little longer, and we want to take longer. We want to understand things thoroughly before we move on to something else. So because if your foundation is strong, then everything at the top of that, inshallah, will be strong as well. These are the new words. The last part of the lesson. Istiqbal is the reception. Mithal is the singular word. The plural is amthila, meaning example. Ad-dammatu is the vowel sign. Damma. Hadara yahduru is our verb, which means to attend or to be present, depending on how you're using ra'isun or ru'asa'u. So ra'isun is the singular, which means president. Ru'asa'u is presidents, it's the plural. Mahlan. What kind of word is mahlan? Can anybody remind? Is a verb or a noun? It's got tanween, must be a noun. Can I say it's a noun? What kind of noun is that? Very good. It's ismul fi'al. We loosely translated that in the previous class as noun of the verb. But we said this word gives the force of the noun, force of the verb, but it is not a verb, it is actually a noun. Because you cannot conjugate verbs, you can conjugate dhaba, dhaba, dhahabu, then yadhabu, yadhabani, yadhabuna. Here you can't say mahlan, mahlani, mahluna. It's not possible. And another thing is your verbs do not accept tanween. Here we have tanween. So it has got the characteristic of verbs and it has got the characteristic of tanween, but it has got a force of the verb. So when you say mahlan, please don't hurry slowly. So this is kind of an amr you are giving, yeah, kind of an imperative you are giving somebody a command. Remember, command can be of two types, from lower to higher and higher to lower. So the word command is basically from higher to lower. So you are speaking to your children, you are giving them command. But you use the same fail amr when you're making dua. You are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when the lower is asking the higher, then it's not called command, it's called dua. Remember, in grammatical term, you will use fail amr, but that fail amr is not fail amr like the other one. Other one, yes, you are giving the command from it's going from the higher to the lower. But if you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this is dua. And then al-fathatu, we know vowel sign fatha, istarih, take rest. What kind of verb is that? It's a amr, fail amr. From which verb? Istaraha yastarihu. You see now this word, this is not three-letter word. Istaraha, there are 6 letters. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there are more letters here than 3-letter word. So what do we say? This is not from basically 4-letter verbs. This is from 3-letter verbs, but this is mazid fihi. The actual past tense here was raha, ra, alif, and ha, 3 letters. But this alif, sin, and ta has been added to that. Take rest. Kharaja means what? The action of leaving. What's istakhraja? To take something. And ghafara means what? Action of forgiving. If you add alif, sin, and ta, what will become? Asking for forgiveness. Istaghfar. So it's asking. So alif, sin, and the ta is added when you are having a verb which is mazid fi, which has got some letters attached to that which are not the original letters. You may take those letters out and the meaning will still be same. What did I tell you? The verb, this verb, the past tense is the rah. Take out alif, sin, and ta. Raha is still there. Istaghfara. Take alif, sin, and ta out. Ghafara is still there. You have a verb kharaja with alif, sin, and ta. Istakhraja. Istakhraja means to take something out with a little bit of mushakka, with a little bit of effort. So مثلا you could say استخرج المهندس النطفة. The engineer extracted the petrol. So you see, استخرج is extraction. So extraction requires more effort than kharaja, then just leaving. So alif, sin, and ta is giving a meaning. So when we say mazid fihi, that's a beautiful thing, sisters. Just by adding sometimes a letter to a word, it completely changes the meaning. But we will do that inshallah in future lessons. For now, just understand istarih is the fail amr, which means take rest. And if you are speaking to a lot of people, istarihu, and you all take rest. And then farqun is the difference. The plural is furuq. Qismun means section, plural is aqsamun, section. It could also mean types. So remember, when you see two meanings of the word, don't say that, oh, this one is right, this one is wrong. It is possible that the word has more than one meaning, right? Depending on the context as well. Al-kasratu, this is a vowel sign. And ata ya, this is a verb, ata yat. We will try to discuss these verbs inshallah in next lesson. Because you see, when we say mudare is always marfu. So take an example, dhahaba yadhhabu. Where is the mudare ending? Ba with the dam. Kharaja yakhruju. Kharaja is madi, and what's mudare? Yakhruju. Here we have ata yati. There's an e sound. Where's the dhamma here? If it's mudare and there's nothing before that, it must be marfu. Right? There's no lan here. There's no lam here. Then nothing is deleted. So where is the dhamma? We'll learn that inshallah in future lessons, right? So with that, inshallah, we'll end today's class. I hope class was not difficult. It was easy, except for what we have done towards the end. That was not difficult as well, but that was for some of us a little bit of new information. But if you have any difficulty in understanding that, just go through the recording and inshallah, you'll be able to understand. And yeah, that's about it. And yeah, so if there's nothing else, inshallah, we will end the class. And when you will get your test papers for this week, I would like you to do one thing. Because when you receive the text, your weekly test paper, not the attendance sheet, by then, only few days have been passed. You would have been able to rewatch the recording, go through your lesson, and listen to everything, and read everything, and observe everything. And maybe by then you will have some assignment as well. If when you're doing the exam and you still have difficulty understanding this thing, what we have done, please write in your feedback. Write in your weekly test feedback that you have difficulty in understanding that. If there are a large number of sisters who have difficulty in understanding that, then inshallah I'll try to explain that a little bit more with a little bit of more detail in inshallah upcoming classes. But if you have understood, if there's a little tiny whining confusion, then please don't write it, because this will give us the wrong idea. And then we will end up spending some time in the class which may not be needed to explain it again. So with this, if there's nothing else, sisters, we'll end the class. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.